This is the all-new 2023 Toyota Prius, and it's probably one of the most impressive upgrades I've seen from any manufacturer in a very long time, or even ever. Anyway, today I'm going to review it. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. So I have to say, I was not a big fan of the old Toyota Prius. Most of the drivers that I encountered were sitting in the passing lane doing 65 while trying to maximize fuel efficiency. And you also had to sacrifice handling, styling, speed, and most importantly of all, your dignity. So the Prius is bigger in every way than the old model, except for the fact that it is in fact 1.6 inches lower, which gives it this extra sleek look. Now they have adjusted the track at the front by 2.3 inches and at the back by 2 inches, and the wheelbase has been stretched out. So the apex of the roof has been pulled back to sort of this point so that everything flows really nicely into the windshield and at the back. So on this limited model, you do get this pair of sunroofs, but they're really not sunroofs because they just have a cover where you can open them up and you simply have this roof in glass. It's kind of strange because you can't get any air into the car by using those sunroofs. On this limited model, you get these 19-inch rims, which look pretty good. They've got these all-season tires. They're 195/50s all around. Bigger brakes. They've changed the brakes. Now they have a hydraulic pump instead of vacuum assist to help with brake feel. So under the hood, there have been massive changes. It's got a brand new 2.0 4. It's not turboed. It's naturally aspirated. In the old car, it used to produce 96 horsepower. In this one, it produces 150. Now, tied to that is the electric motor, which previously had 71. This one now has 111. So combined, using fuzzy math, this one now has 194 horsepower. That is 60% more horsepower than the old one had. That's a massive increase. Can you imagine if a Golf GTI had a 60% increase in horsepower from one edition to the other? It would have about 350 horsepower today. Anyway, not only that, there's more good news. It now gets 52 miles to the gallon, 57 if you get the LE with the smaller 17-inch rims. This is just an amazing step up. Every trim from the LE up gets the option of all-wheel drive. This one has front-wheel drive. If you do opt for that, you get 2 extra horsepower. So how much is it? Well, it's a little bit more than last year's model by about $1,100. And again, this is a front-wheel drive limited model, so it does have some options on it. It has a package that costs you around $1,200 that includes those heated rear seats and a panoramic camera system to see what's all around you. And if you want to add all-wheel drive, that's going to cost you an extra $1,400. So this is where there is some bad news for some people, not for me. The LE version, the lower versions have 24 cubic feet of space. This being a limited has only 20 cubic feet of space, which is less than the old one. The seats do fold flat. You get this nifty little luggage cover. I don't really care there's a lack of space because the car is head and shoulders better than it used to be. And then also you get limited rear visibility, but again, I don't really care. The rear door handles are now touch sensitive. You just simply open them like that. So in the back, there's a little bit more bad news. It is a little bit tighter than the old Prius, but I'm fine with that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the back of this car. It does have limited headroom due to the new extra sleek shape, but again, I don't really care. Rear seats are pretty comfortable though, despite that, and the material quality is great. Vegan leather, super soft, I love it. This one, being a limited model, has the heated seats and 2 USBs, as well as this nice cup holder in the back. At the front, huge changes. It's really nice. Super comfortable seats, nice small diameter steering wheel, feels good in your hands. You get 8-way power on the driver's seat and memory seats, and then on the passenger side, you can still adjust the chair and you can also adjust it for height, but it's manual. Really, really nice place to be compared with the old Prius. So on the LE version, you get an 8-inch display, but this is a very generous 12.3-inch unit, which is optional on the XLE, and it's also standard on the Limited. And then wireless smartphone mirroring is standard. So this one has drive modes next to the parking brake, EV mode, hold, and traction control off. And you just literally move this little toggle here, and it displays the different modes: custom, sport, eco, and there's another one called normal. Now, if you want to go ahead and customize this, you can hit settings. So then you can go ahead and you can change the powertrain. We're going to make it sporty. We're going to make the steering sporty. And we'll make the air conditioning normal, because I don't know why you'd need sports air conditioning. And then this is very similar, same system as in all the new Toyotas. Door control, boarding and exit, climate, utility. You've got your music, pretty decent navigation. It loads pretty fast. I like this system. And then below that, you've got all of your physical HVAC controls. It's great, you don't have to dig into menus on the screen to do that. And I also like the physical volume knob. Down here, you've got a little bit of storage space. I put my phone on there. It's got a grippy sort of rubber mat thing, 12 volt USB and a faster USB. And then if you lift this up, you can pull this out and you get some additional storage space hidden below. 2 decent sized cup holders. There's also 2 cup holders, 1 in each of the front doors. So I also like the charger right here, the wireless charger for phones. It sort of slips snugly into place in the center console and charges through my case. Now, what hasn't gone away is the weirdly stubby Prius shifter, but whatever, same pattern. Reverse neutral drive, and then push to park. So the driver's instruments are now directly in front of the driver, which is great, and you get your temperature outside, the time, speed, what mode you're in. I'm currently in custom mode because I just set it to sporty for everything except AC. The odometer reading, and then how many miles to empty. So you notice that the steering wheel is set quite low. You can move it, but if you do that, it just obliterates the instruments. So you're better off just leaving it at its lowest level. Off to the left on the driver's door, you've got your memory seats, and then down here you've got a heated steering wheel. Finally, your rear view mirror can be a regular mirror, but there isn't a lot of visibility out the back thanks to the swoopy new styling, so you can just flick it to that and use the cameras instead. All right, so let's take this for a drive, because there's really only one thing that I care about, and can this vehicle get out of its own way? Because the old Prius simply couldn't. So let's see what it drives like. Now, I have it in custom mode, the sportiest settings that we can find, and we will get going. All right, setting off in electric mode here. Gain speed pretty quickly. Like, wow, still pulling. Wow. Wow. I mean, it's not a sports car, you know. It's not a Golf GTI, but boy, this is so much better to drive. In 10 seconds it took me. Let's take some bends here, and it holds pretty well. Chassis is very compliant. There's body roll in the turns, but that's kind of what I would expect. It wants to have a comfortable ride for the type of people that are going to buy it, but it's a sharp right-hander and it drives nicely. All right, let's test out these cooled seats, see if they get me cool. Seats are holding me in pretty well here. Little tire squeal. It's got these Toyo tires on the front. I feel like Japanese manufacturers typically use Bridgestones. These are all Seasons. They're 195, so they're not particularly wide. I'm leaning, but this thing is holding on. I mean, this is the first time I've ever had any fun in a Prius. I mean, it's a great little car. It looks amazing from the outside. It's really cool inside. The instruments are where you expect them to be, in front. And this is genuinely quite zippy. Steering is nice too, big improvement on the steering. Now obviously it regens on the brakes. I actually don't know what setting I have it in right now, but it appears to work pretty well. And the brakes have a nice feel to them, which is unusual normally for these hybrids. They have a really weird brake feel, but these are nice. I'm definitely getting used to the wheel being like almost in my lap. So whereas with the old Prius, you couldn't punch it and squirt into a gap, you couldn't pass anyone, you were just literally just locked into very, very slow speeds. Purgatory, I think, is probably the best word to use. Right, so I'm going to move it into normal mode so we're not using massive amounts of fuel. Not that we will anyway. I mean, if this does 52 miles to the gallon, I'll be interested to see what my average is for the week. It's probably going to be around 35, but if I hammer it all the time, 35 is amazing. So we haven't tested it from 0 to 60, but I can well believe that it'll do 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It feels pretty zippy. So let's attack these few tight turns here. See how it does. Just because it rolls so much, I got my foot mashed on the foot brace here, so I can hold myself into the seat, which is comfortable but doesn't have a lot of side bolstering. I feel myself slipping over the side. But this is a good test of this car's handling, and I must say I'm very pleasantly surprised that you can hustle this new Prius. Little dip there. Yeah, the suspension irons out most of these bumps. This isn't the smoothest road in the world, but I'm impressed how fast I can hustle this thing along here. Yeah, I mean, this is a Prius like no other Prius before. It's a little gem, this car. Because you can still save a lot of money on fuel, but have some fun at the same time. There was no chance of having fun in the old Prius. Certainly not like this. I would have never brought my car along these roads if I'd had an old Prius. What a great job. And this was probably one of the biggest surprises of the year when Toyota announced this new Prius, and that people were like, holy crap, it looks amazing. Yeah, it does. Does it drive amazing? Yes. For what it is? Yes. 60% increase in power, 100% increase in looks. I have to say, this is a great little car and a massive improvement on the old one. Now I'm trying to get these Toyos to squeal a little bit. I think if they'd been Bridgestones, my least favorite tire, I think they would have squealed by now, because I'm cornering this thing pretty hard. And so far it hasn't really done anything. All right, so I'm going to do my turnaround here. Not really a car that we're going to drive for miles and miles. We're just going to do a quick turnaround here. And off we go. Full power. 60. Still rolling start, but still. Impressive in the turns. My dignity has been restored. What a fantastic little car. So what do we think? Well, from where I stand, this is the biggest automotive transformation I have ever seen. The old Prius was horrible to drive. 0 to 60 in like 10.7 seconds. I don't think any of them could crack the 10-second barrier. Now we've got a car that'll do it in about 7 seconds flat. It's not a sports car. It's not meant to be, but oh my God, it looks absolutely amazing, and it is such a much improved car. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video. Out.